Hi, my name is Ahmad bin Zainuddin. I'm a medical student from IMU, and I would like to bring you this book review on Swartz textbook of physical diagnosis, the ninth edition. All right. So first things first, what do I personally like about this book? So this book is interesting, and I like it because it is very practical and clinically focused. Unlike more theory-heavy books, this one really emphasizes how to examine a patient step by step. So one thing that stood out to me, it is the clear structured approach to physical examinations. So as we know, the step by step is first we start off with inspection, and then we palpate, and then we percuss, and lastly auscultation. So it really does make sure that you follow that step by step and consistently apply it across all the different systems. So I also found the clinical tips and pitfall sections very helpful as they highlight common mistakes students make during physical examinations. So especially in real life, and or not, I don't even have to look that far. In OSCE stations, for example, making sure that we know the tips and the pitfalls, differentiating where and when and what not to do. This helps us to make sure that we don't do that itself. So the images and illustrations, especially those showing hand positioning and examination techniques, make it so much easier to understand how to actually perform the skills in real life and not just memorize them. Next, I would like to talk about the contents of the book. So this ebook focuses on physical examinations and diagnostic skills. So it begins with the basics such as patient history taking and general assessment before moving into the system-based examinations like cardiovascular, respiratory, GIT, and also neurological exams. So each chapter explains the proper technique, what findings to look for, so the positives and negatives of each examination, and what those findings may indicate clinically. So I found the sections on heart sounds and lung examinations particularly detailed as they explain how to interpret abnormal findings and link them to specific conditions. So, as you might know, there are many different types of diseases that correlates between the cardiovascular and also the respiratory. So, um, when we palpate, percuss, and auscultate, some of them might have overlapping and similarities to each other. So by having a very detailed explanation and how to differentiate that this sound can lead to this disease, or this sound, they might be similar in these two diseases, but this one thing, this one other sound, or this one smaller detail can differentiate that, oh, it is this disease instead. So having this book especially able to guide us exactly on the section on heart sounds and lung examinations on that specific topic is very helpful, and I personally like that. And next we talk about, does it suit me or my program in IMU and why? So as I mentioned just now, I'm a medical student, and yes, this ebook absolutely does suit me because especially for medical student, and not just medical students, we can also talk about maybe nurses. They also need this kind of knowledge. So it is particularly useful during clinical years later on in SEM 6 and above. So bedside, so it is very much necessary for us to be able to carry out physical examinations confidently and systematically. So it will also be helpful for people who need to develop strong patient assessment skills as it focuses heavily on practical application rather than just theory. And last but not least, would I recommend this book to my colleagues and why? So yes, especially those who are also doing medicine with me, nurses, I can also recommend too, because it serves as an excellent bridge between theory and clinical practice, and it is especially useful when preparing for OSCEs, as it teaches both the correct technique and the reasoning behind each step, like I mentioned just now. Although it requires practice alongside reading, it is a very valuable resource that helps build confidence in patient examination skills, which is essential for any healthcare professional. Thank you very much. That sums up my book review.